Hello, my friend. In this video, we are discussing how to create a culture of gratitude in the workplace. This is part of an interview we did with Piyush Patel, author of Lead Your Tribe, Love Your Work. This is Business Leadership Today. I'm your host, Matt Tenney.
We are all busy, and all of our employees are busy, and everybody has a different level of motivation. They have a different reason why they want to be affirmed and how they belong. And so how do you tap into that? We could talk about it, or we can create an activity around it. So every morning, let me pull mine up here. Every morning at 9:15, we do a little thing called the 3 happies. All it costs is a Post-it note. And if you want to get super fancy, I do leadership in one color and all the different teams in my organizations in a different colors. So it's kind of old school social media. You can decide who you want to follow based on the color code. So at 9:15 every morning, you can set your time to it. You take a piece of paper, a little Post-it note, you sit in a group and you share your 3 happies. And the way it works is in the corner, you put your name, in the other corner, the date. And then number 1 and 2 are the 2 things that made you happy at work in the past 24 hours. So that's your time slide is 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And then 1 personal thing that made you happy at home or in your personal life. What this does is this is all based off research called the Tetris Principle, where if you do repetitive work, it's hard to break that cycle. A great example I share is if you're a lawyer and your job is to find something wrong with this contract, right? Like, you're not saying, oh, wow, that's a really, well, you really got me on this one. You're saying, no, you're trying to screw me on this. No, right. Don't do this. Don't do this. What happens when your 7-year-old comes and says, look what I did at school? It's hard to turn off that critiquing and how can you make it better and just appreciate, wow, great job, right? That's really hard to turn off. Right. I found this with my employees who are, highly educated creatives. One day walk outside and go, gosh, it's so bright and sunny and it's so hot. I'm thinking, you sit in an air conditioning building all day. It's a beautiful day. And then I understood they critique art all day long. That's their job, is to critique and make things better. And so we implemented this 3 happies. And I will tell you, if you do it for just 21 days, it'll become a habit. If you continue with it, deadlines will go away. Missed projects will go away. These things will just naturally go away, because what's happening is I'm sharing with my little group at 9:15 2 things about my job that I love. And I'm reminding everybody else, look what I love about this place. And my personal, which allows us to connect at a deeper level. So if I said, I finally got into Game of Thrones, all of a sudden everybody around me would say, oh, me too, you finally got into it. Yeah. And now I belong to this little community within this organization.
Fantastic. And so how have you seen this create a sense of deeper caring? My guess would be, from what you said, is that last little gem, right? It's where, well, I could see 2 things, but I would like you to expand on this or go deeper, or definitely correct me if I'm wrong. But I could see 1, obviously, if somebody's happier, if they're able to find the positive in their situation, they're going to be more likely to look after the person next to them. They're going to be more pleasant to the person next to them, right? 2 is, if I have a human connection with somebody, if I can see our commonality, I'm going to be more likely to look after them. So if you could maybe tell me, am I on the right track there? And then maybe expand on that a little bit, or correct me and expand on that, either way.
Yeah, totally. You're on it. So really, this happens in organizations at the quote water cooler, whatever that is. If it's the coffee machine, the Coke machine, the water cooler, a certain point in the office where people gather and you naturally go, hey, what are you working on? Yeah. And then they tell you and you go, well, that's cool. Most people come to work, they've got their own things they've got to get done. And the rest of the people are kind of oblivious. They must be doing something. It's hard to create empathy towards somebody when you don't know them. Absolutely. And I feel that by you sharing with me 2 things yesterday that you were really happy about that you did at your job, and I'm, as a listener, going, which I believe is also a form of affirmation, right? Listening is an act of affirmation. By just listening, not even having a conversation, I go, wow, I didn't realize Matt was even working on that. That's really cool. right? And we now have a mutual respect over the work we do. I now have empathy when you say, I'm stuck on something or I need some help with something. Well, it totally makes sense for me to step in and help you because I understand what you're doing and what drives you.
Absolutely.
And then
That's
all
great.
of these, they're shared in little small groups. And then somebody from that group takes them and we post them near the bathroom. And that way, anybody who's kind of walking to the bathroom can just see over, the past 24 hours, what were people talking about? What they may not work with somebody, but they want to follow their happies.
Yeah. So now you may have mentioned this at the beginning and I may have just forgotten this, but when you break it into small teams, is it generally like the teams that people work on, or do you try to mix it up a little bit?
No, it's just the teams they work on, right? It's really the bond we're trying to create is with them. And then by posting them, it kind of cross mingles everybody.
Right. Got it. Yeah. So it's basically, if you're a senior executive, you're just having this meeting with your 4 or 5 direct reports.
That's right.
They might be having that same meeting with their 5 or 10 direct reports, and
That's right.
so on down the chain. Okay. Fantastic. Have you ever experimented with maybe once a month or so, just kind of randomly mixing people up and seeing like what happens if somebody from accounting is sitting down with someone in the development team? And you ever played around with that, or have any of the companies you've advised on done this?
Yeah. So we do a Friday afternoon tea time, and it's just once a week. We all gather, and it could be tea, coffee, beer, soft drink, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's really around building cross-team connections. And those will have stories of our values, what they saw, stories around the 3 happies. And, every Friday for 45 minutes, we just kind of gather and do this. Mix everybody up. And it's really about building these connections so we can move faster together than as a bunch of individuals.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that synergistic effect is amazing. So can you maybe share a story of an example of you saw of one team member really looking after another one that you think might be directly attributable to this practice? And I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah,
because this might be a while. It could be in your company or or in any of the ones that you've advised in, where you just saw an example of somebody that just said, "Wow, I can't believe they went to that extent to take care of a team member," and you could feel pretty confident it's a result of this practice.
I see it every time when deadlines don't get skipped or passed, right? Because I used to have a huge problem with, one of the problems was I'd have all these deadlines thinking they're going to work 40 hours and that was false. So, okay, restructure that. And I'm still having issues with deadlines. And it's because, sometimes the job that you've been given, you may not have 100% of the skill set to do it. You may have 98%.
Right.
And that last 2%, it's hard to get somebody around you to help you when they're busy.
Right.
And so ultimately, I think that pudding, the taste of the pudding really is getting things done.
We hope you found this video valuable. If you'd like to listen to the entire 30-minute interview, please visit our website at businessleadershiptoday.com. Also, if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and opt in for notifications. Until next time, I wish you great success building a world-class organization that improves the lives of employees and makes a positive impact in our world.